welcome to a Galaxy Man Show interview show. So for my very next guest of this week is this incredible singer and songwriter known by the name of Jess Hess Music. So I'm about to add Jess into the live now and I have a chat with Jess about her incredible music that she's made. So yeah, let's add Jess in and have a chat with Jess. Hey Jess, how's it going?
Good, how are you?
Yeah, really good, thanks. I just want to say first up, thank you so much, Jess, for taking the time to join my show. It's such a pleasure having you on the show for today. To people that don't know who you are, Jess, if you can give like a bit of backstory about yourself, and then we'll dive right into the questions.
Oh, yeah, sure. Well, my name is Jess Hess. It rhymes. Also, there's a cat here, so if you see a cat try and be in the shot, just know that she's a menace. But yes, I am a singer-songwriter. I'm based here in Nashville, Tennessee. I'm originally from Pennsylvania. I don't know, I've been singing my whole life, been songwriting most of my life, and I went to school for a little bit for opera, actually, of all things. So yeah, I mean, that's like a little bit about me. And then I came here to Nashville and been doing singer-songwriter stuff.
So we'll dive right into the questions now, Jess. So for my very first question, so you have this incredible new release and music video out called Sprained Ankle. What was it like getting to create this incredible new release, and like what's like the whole meaning behind like Sprained Ankle?
Well, it was a great experience making the track. I worked with a producer here in Nashville, and he approached me. Nick Bullock is the producer. That's where I should have. A producer named Nick Bullock here in Nashville. As you can see, I've done tons of interviews. I'm very
You're fine.
I'm very practiced at this.
Yeah.
But no, my now friend and someone I worked with in these songs called Nick Bullock. He's my producer here in Nashville for these songs that I've been doing recently, and it was a really great experience making these tracks with him. He kind of approached me after my first album and just said, I like your music, I like your sound, I would love to work with you sometime. So we made it work, and it was really great. We made 3 songs together, and actually the third one is coming out at the end of the month, and I'm very excited about that one. So it's gonna kind of be on the same track as the last 2 singles I had, sound wise, but it was great going into the studio with him and sort of having a more studio experience, because I didn't really get that with my first album as much. We sort of just did that in our home here in Nashville. So it was really fun. Yeah, we went in and we played through the songs and we just kind of started adding stuff, and we came up with a really cool sort of more produced poppy sort of sound, and versus my last album, which was a little bit more stripped down. It was really great. The writing of the actual song happened very quickly. Basically, I got a sprained ankle, and I wrote about it. I was upset about it, and I was like, you're going to go away in a couple of weeks. It's going to be okay. And that's basically what happened.
Awesome.
Anyway.
So after Ask, by the way, Jess, what was it like getting to create the music video for Sprained Ankle? Like, such an incredible music video, by the way.
Thank you.
People that haven't seen it, definitely go check it out, because
it was so fun creating the video too. This whole song honestly has been just a great experience collaborating with people that I really love and respect. My friend Raina Sky, she's also based here in Nashville. She did the video with me and for me. We kind of both talked about it. We had been doing sort of photography work together before, and we were just I told her about the songs I was doing, and particularly this one, and we talked about it a little bit, kind of came up with a rough idea. We would it would be funny if I found crutches at a garage sale and needed them, but she came up with basically everything else. It was kind of fun to be directed. I've never really been directed before, like in a film, but it felt like I was in a little short film. She came up with a whole little story for it, and it was just really great. It was really awesome to work with her. She ended up sitting in the trunk of her car while her boyfriend drove, and I was sort of walking you know, just like singing along to my song, and it was a really fun like experience. You know, it was very like makeshift and sort of indie film vibes. Yeah, I loved it. It was great. It was great making that with her.
So on to our very next question. So you've also created an original song called A Bit Insane. What was it like getting to create this one, and like what's the whole meaning behind this one?
Thanks. Wow, that song means a lot to me. That was a song I wrote years ago, actually. So after I left college, I was in a really bad place. Let's just say that. There was a lot of loss, a lot of death, actually, that I was dealing with. And yeah, I was in just sort of the most sort of stripped down, worst place. And I was writing a lot of music back then, a lot of sad music, and that's actually where a lot of my first album came from, was this place of sort of kind of desperation almost, sort of like trying to find meaning in life again. So A Bit Insane was very much that. It was kind of me looking at all of my insecurities and the things that hadn't, you know, had made my life thus far feel icky, I guess, and real like kind of taking that with all the things that had happened to me recently at that time, and saying like, you know, these bad things, they always happen, right, to everybody. Everybody has these things that make them feel weird in life, and that at the same time as being really sort of tragic, it's also kind of the beauty in a way. Like, you can find beauty in those things. It's what forms us into who we all are. So I was just kind of desperately trying to find the beauty, I guess, in those things at that time. And so I wrote A Bit Insane to just kind of remind myself that we're all there, you know, we're all feeling weird at some point. And you know, it's okay. Like, we're allowed to be feeling that way, and we should feel those ways sometimes, and it's sucks that we have to, but it's also beautiful and part of what makes us who we are. And yeah, anyway, that's where A Bit Insane came from. It's a very important song to me. Yeah.
So on to our very next question for you, Jess. So with creating this song, you've also created original song called Rowdy. What was it like getting to create Rowdy, and like what's the whole meaning behind Rowdy?
Thanks. I love that one too. That one's a little bit lighter. I wrote that still at a similar time as I wrote A Bit Insane, but it was sort of the other side of that. But then it took on a whole other meaning when I went into the pandemic, because the chorus is basically like, you know, I want to be rowdy like I used to be. I want to be, you know, partying and hanging out with people. And so when I left college, it was sort of that feeling of like, well, I'm not doing the things that I was doing in college, you know. And I was sort of facing a new kind of responsibility in life, trying to take care of myself fully for the first time. All of those things were sort of facing me, and that's kind of initially where the inspiration for Rowdy came from. But yeah, then I released it over the pandemic, and it suddenly had this whole other meaning. So I actually made a little music video with my roommate Steve Barnett, who produced my whole first album. And we were roommates at the time, and we made this music video together right at the beginning of lockdown, when we were, you know, very isolated. And it was very lucky that we had each other, very lucky that I had like a couple of people in my life that I could lock down with, as opposed to being completely alone. I felt very fortunate about that. But yeah, we made this video just sort of saying, man, this is probably gonna suck. Like, we wish we could be partying with people, and it did suck. And yeah, I still wish I could. Well, we're sort of slowly getting back to that. But yeah, anyway. So yeah.
So on to our very next question. So you also created an original song called Heaven and Hell. What was it like creating this one, and what's like the whole meaning behind Heaven and Hell for you?
Yeah, Heaven and Hell was another one I wrote in that dark sort of time. That one's more pointedly about my father, I guess. So during this dark time, my father passed away, partly why it was so dark. And he had a very strong relationship with his spirituality. He was a very sort of deep person. And this song is just kind of about me coming to terms. It's sort of convoluted, but it's sort of me coming to terms with the fact that he also didn't know everything, if that makes any sense, and me trying to understand his philosophy. And it was just sort of a song about the like uncomfortable feeling of not knowing, you know, and the feeling of like, you know, well, if heaven and like, do heaven and hell exist? If they don't exist, this is like, and they're already here, you know, both of them. And it's just kind of, I don't know, it's sort of a heady philosophical, like, take whatever like own spiritual meaning you may find in the song for yourself. Like, you can figure that out. But it was inspired by losing my father and the sort of uncertainties, I guess, that I was feeling in my life because of that. Yeah.
Well, I have to say, it was truly inspirational, by the way. Like,
Thanks.
the way you like created it, truly inspiring. And I'm sorry to hear about your father too, by the way.
Thank you.
On to my very next question for you, Jess. So, how did you get into like singing in the first place? Like, what captured your eyes as an artist and said, "Hey, I want to become a singer"?
Honestly, I just always sang. I don't know. I didn't there I can't remember a time where I was like, I want to be a singer. It was something that I always did. It was sort of a coping mechanism way back in the day, when I was a very young child. You know, everybody has things that are going on when they're a kid that are uncomfortable. And for those things that were going on for me, the way that I would cope with them is I would sort of like isolate myself from the world and sing. Like, that's literally what I did. I would hide away and I would sing, or I would dance to music or whatever. But music was always the thing that, you know, was that coping mechanism for me. And so yeah, I mean, that's really why I did it, was just because I felt that connection and I felt it made me feel free and made me forget about the rest of everything that was going on, you know. The rest of life and craziness. My escape.
So, on to my very next question. So, who would be your all-time inspirational person or music artist that you look up to music-wise, and why?
Oh, all-time inspiration for musical artists, probably Joni Mitchell. I mean, she's my all-time. She's such a poetess. Poetess. Her wording is so beautiful to me. I don't think I've ever felt, maybe, I mean, Leonard Cohen kind of like walks this line with me too. I hold both of their words, like their poetry, very close to my heart. So I think with those two artists is like the most times with single artists that I felt like, wow, I wish I had written that. Like, I wish that, you know, I want to write something that impactful, you know. So they probably both inspire me the most when it comes to their writing. And Joni really inspires me when it comes to her musicianship, and the way that she kind of got into music, and the way that she used it, the way that she spoke through it, and also just the way that she never like took anyone's BS. Like, she was very herself, you know, even to the point of the bassists that she worked with, you know, when they didn't understand that she, you know, the chords that she was playing, I mean, it made sense in her mind, but it didn't make sense to somebody who didn't have like a jazz mind, you know. And so she was so like adamant about the particular sounds that she wanted. So you know, when she went into the studio with people, I really admire how dominant she was, I guess. Yeah, anyway, she's probably my all-time. And I love how her music progressed into jazz. I love her. Yeah.
So, on to my very next question. So, what does performing music mean to you, like, especially as an artist?
What does performing music mean to me? I've had a really weird relationship with performance, I think. And I think that I'm getting back to the place slowly. I'm sort of making the steps to getting back to a place where I love performing. It's it's so hard for me because I went to school for performance, and I will say I don't recommend that for everyone. um, there's a and there's a there's a kind of place that you get into when you get into the world of performance sometimes, and sometimes it's not the best place for everyone, and it wasn't the best place for me, without going into too much detail. And so I think that I was really hurt by a lot of the people in that world and a lot of the experiences that I went through in that world. And so yeah, so I think that I have a hard time with performance. A lot of my music has really been for me, but I think as I've started to share it, especially over this last couple of years and the pandemic and everything, and I've started to sort of gain a small and really beautiful online like community that reaches out to me and expresses to me the importance of, for some reason it's important to them, some of my songs, you know, and that's what makes me want to perform more, and that's what makes me want to share more, is hearing that and knowing that it did mean something to someone else. Because yeah, I've had a weird, hard relationship with performing. But I think my favorite times to perform for people is when I'm just sort of with a small group of people and we're all talking about something that makes sense to us, you know, and we're all connecting, and maybe we're all sharing songs with each other. I love sharing songs with other musicians. That's definitely one of my favorite ways to perform. So yeah, I love performing to small groups. Performing has been an interesting partner in my music journey, you know. But anyway, that's how I would answer that question. That was a long, convoluted answer, I guess.
No, it was fine. It was good.
My relationship.
Yeah. So I'll start with the next question for you. So if you can go anywhere in the world, anywhere on tour, like where would it be?
Oh,
Like
wow.
after the pandemic?
Oh wow. Oh man, I don't even know. Oh, I would go everywhere. Wow. If I could go anywhere in the world, I would probably go, and if I could take people with me, I would probably go to Japan, and I would take my family with me to Japan because I have members of my family who are Japanese, and I think that they would really appreciate that, and I think it would be just a wonderful experience to experience that with them. So that's the first thing that came to mind. The second thing that came to mind was Switzerland, because I'm actually Swiss. So I think it would be great to see where my ancestors came from, yeah, so that would be really cool. I also have always wanted to go to New Zealand and Australia, so I would love to go to those places.
Well, I'm actually from Australia, so
yeah, I mean,
you're very welcome in Australia anytime.
I would love to.
Yeah.
That's been one of my top places for a long time. I mean, it's so beautiful there. I just think that, you know, it'd be so great to see. So yeah, those I guess are my top places.
Yes, I love it. So on to my very next question. So if you could work with any top 3 music artists in the music industry, who would they be and why? Who you would vibe with the most?
Oh, top 3 musical artists in the music industry right now. Wow. Oh, I think, wow. Okay. This is actually a really hard question. And I mean, you sent me these questions, so I should have had an answer for this before. But every time I'm presented with this, it's so hard. Okay. So I think producer-wise, it would be really fun, I think, to see what Phineas would do with my music and my voice, because he has a very distinct sound, producer-wise. And I think it would be, I just think it would be fun to work with him. I think he's clearly very, very intelligent, very innovative, and I think it would be very interesting to work with him. So I would love to work with him as a producer. As opposed to sort of making a song with somebody else or singing with somebody else. I feel like all of my answers are just ridiculous, like it's never gonna happen star dreams. But I share a birthday with Beyonce, and I have this like ridiculous just dream of us one day, you know, just, I mean, it's hilarious just to picture me next to her. I feel like I would look like just the tiniest bean and just ridiculous, but that would be awesome. And then maybe something a little bit more realistic. I think it would be so great. I love Lucy Dacus's last album. That's probably my most listened to album of the last year. I think it would be so great to like do a song with her, or to do something just honestly like the sort of triple or the like triple threat of the female indie like folky rocky kind of world right now are the like Phoebe Bridgers, Lucy Dacus, and Julian Baker, who I love also. So any of those three women I think would just be awesome. If I could be a part of Boy Genius as a board member, that's my ultimate dream, I think. Anyway, so those, I guess, all of those people. Yeah, mostly Beyonce though. That's the biggest dream. If I could just meet her, look at her face in real life, I think that would be enough.
Okay, what do you think you would say to Beyonce if you got to meet her? Like, what thing?
I would flounder and I would say, "We share a birthday. Isn't that cool? Good birthday to have, right? Must be because you came during that day. Okay, goodbye." That's probably what would come out of my mouth, and then I would cry, and then Jay-Z would just be laughing at me, in the corner.
I love it. I love it.
No, I honestly, I have no idea. If I was in a situation that I was able to see any celebrity like that, I would hope that I had a little bit more composure, but really, I don't know. I don't know.
I love it. So on to our next question. So, like, what have you learned about yourself as a person, and especially as an artist, like during COVID?
Oh my gosh. Honestly, the biggest thing I've learned about myself as a person during COVID is that I'm great at being a hermit. I can do it. I'm extra introverted, and I'm okay with that. It actually ended up helping me in a part of my life, turns out. It's funny that that was so helpful. But yeah, that's honestly, I was really fine. I'm very grateful. I'm so thankful for being able to have the ability to survive COVID. You know what I mean? Just being able to be in the place that I am, having the support systems that I do, having the people that are around me, that I was able to still have in my life, I was very secluded, but I still had like a couple of people that I saw. So I'm so thankful for that. And I'm very I'm very thankful that I didn't go stir crazy. I really don't think I did. I think I was ultimately fine. Like now I'm starting to like get back out into the world again, and I'm like, man, I don't have the excuse of COVID anymore. So I think that was just really hammered into me, that I'm very, very introverted, and I will be okay. I had to be a hermit for the rest of my life. I think I would be, just as long as I had that core group of people, I think that's all I am. So yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. And as an artist too, I created a lot, actually. I had a lot of time by myself. I was, just picking up my guitar a lot. So just getting that time to yourself, I think that was really important to me. So that's another thing I learned.
So on to our next question. So what are like the positive and negatives into creating your own music in the industry? And how do you get through those like negative moments as an artist?
Wow. So this industry is one of the scariest, most like kind of evil things that exists in the world. It's a monster. And I think one of the biggest things about being totally independent is you're going to make those mistakes where you feel like you're an idiot because you don't know anything about the music industry, and people are going to act like you're an idiot because you don't know anything about the music industry. There's a lot of gatekeeping. There's a lot of like people not wanting you to succeed because you're independent. There's a lot of that. And I think that, it's really hard for someone who doesn't have all the money in the world to hemorrhage into this, who doesn't, have the support of people who were already established. It's really difficult to be an independent musician right now. I mean, in general, it always has been. Maybe it's less difficult now than it ever has been, though, which is a very big positive thing. And so I think that's definitely like the biggest thing is all the gatekeeping. But I think one of the best things about being an independent artist, especially right now, is being able to find that very unique to you, very like genuine and organic, like it's weird to call them a fan base, but you know, community that just comes to you for whatever reason. Something that you did sparked something in them that made them just want to be around what you create. And that, I think, is one of the most beautiful things about social media, about humanity in general, is that we can just create and like, you know, share our creations and connect through that. And I think that's just so beautiful to see. And I'm not sure if it would be as impactful to me if, say, I had just like signed to a label or something. Not that I ever had the ability to do that, but if I had the opportunity to do that and just like blew up randomly one day, I'm not sure if I would appreciate every single person who comes to me and like finds my music as much as I do right now. And so, yeah, I think I love that part about being a very small little creator on the internet.
Awesome. So on to our very last question. So like what's next for you, like for the rest of this year, like music wise, anything exciting coming out that you'd like to announce?
Yeah, well, I do have a song called Loser coming out at the end of the month. I'm very excited about that. It's sort of on the same kind of vein of my last two singles, just kind of you know, I don't need no man, like you're, well, it was a breakup song, which is kind of like the vibe of the last two singles. And yeah, it's poppy. I'm excited, sort of like 90s-ish vibes. I'm excited about it. Yeah, and then for the rest of the year, I'll probably chill. I mean, I'll never stop creating. I'm kind of like, I'm toying with the idea, because I have so many songs written, of just releasing sort of demos, like, for a little bit in the next year, or like early next year, just to like see what people like, you know, what people want to hear more of. And I have, yeah, because I've written a lot, and I'm such a perfectionist that I don't like to release things if they're not like totally done. So I'm thinking maybe I could try doing that. You know what I mean? So we'll see. And yeah, so that's what I'm toying with, maybe like kind of getting more active on YouTube and trying to make little videos about songwriting. I've been toying with those kinds of ideas. Other than that, I mean, I'm definitely working towards making more music for next year. I just don't know when. Anyway.
Awesome. Well, I would like to ask Jess, would you like to perform one of your songs on the show, by the way?
Sure. I have the guitar, just so happened to right here. I can perform one. I can do.
I just have to say, by the way, your cat, gorgeous. By the way,
thanks.
You're very welcome. And to give you a cat fact, also, I don't know if you know this. I actually went to a school called Autism Queensland back in the day, and I actually learnt that all cats inside themselves have autism themselves.
Really?
Yeah,
That's
because
so
you know
cool.
how, yeah, you know how cats like to be alone at times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's so fitting, actually.
Yeah, yeah.
I love that fact. Oh my god, I'm gonna tell everyone that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
That's so fitting for cats. That makes so much sense. Oh man. That's so funny. That's so funny. Oh man. Now I'm gonna just like look at them, like look at both of my cats. I have two. The other one's completely hidden. Yeah. Now, yeah, I'm gonna look at all their interactions with each other and be like, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, I think I'm gonna play Sprained Ankle, because yeah, that feels right. The song is called Sprained Ankle. I wrote it about my sprained ankle. Yeah, okay. Oh, I've broken bones. I've seen sorrow in the blush of a bruise, but you're just a sprained ankle. You'll be gone in a week or two. I've burned blotches in my skin, some in patterns, some I didn't choose. but you're just a sprained ankle. You'll be gone in a week or two. Oh, me much. I'm too busy to take care of you. Oh, I'm still walking high, aren't I? Oh, you don't pay me much. I'm too busy to take care of you. Oh, I'm still walking high, aren't I? But don't get me wrong, you've left an impression. I wince every time one of my friends mentions you. I must have been crazy, or what was I thinking? Took the jolt of the pop for it to sink in. Yeah, my footing was poor, though I thought I was sure I could balance no more on your uneven floor. So I limped to the door. 'Cause you don't pay me much. I'm too busy to take care of you. And I'm still walking high, aren't I? But you don't pay me much. I'm too busy to take care of you. And I'm still walking high, aren't I? Oh, I've lost a couple looks. I've caught myself smoking in the rear view, but you're just a sprained ankle. You'll be gone. Yeah, you're just a sprained ankle. You'll be gone, you'll be gone. Oh, you're just a sprained ankle. You'll be gone in a week or two.
Yes, Jess. Wow. Well, I have to say, I love your voice. Like, your voice and tone is incredibly insane. To people that haven't seen Jess, like Jess's songs, definitely go support Jess and her incredible music. Fitness right there. Do you have like any last final thoughts that you'd like to share to people on the show?
No, I mean, I think that's everything. Yeah, I mean, look out for my next single. It's called Loser. Yeah, just stream my music. Watch the sprained ankle video if you haven't. We're very proud of it. And I'm so glad to know that cats have autism. Thank you so much for telling me that.
You're very welcome. Well, thank you so much again, Jess. It's been such a pleasure.
Sorrow in the blush of a bruise.